Hey guys, so we are in New Zealand and we've been here for the last week, so I'm going to make a couple different videos about photography, about destination, just about my trip. So today we are going to a glowworm cave, which I'm super excited about. We got a private tour for a few hours in one of the locals. I'll put it up. But yeah, this is my first time doing glowworm caves. I'm really excited to share my experience, what I found works, what I found don't works. I've got kind of different bits of equipment, but I'll let you guys know after this sequence of videos and these sequence of photos. Hopefully they're good. What it was like. Are you excited for glowworm caves?
Yeah.
So for the equipment, I looked at Tom Archer's blog, who has done this before, and he recommended this place. He recommended not to change because it's really wet down there, so there'd be a risk of damaging equipment. So I've got the D850 set up with a really wide lens, the 14 to 24, which is a 2.8 lens. I heard it could be between 30 and 5-minute exposures, which is kind of crazy. So I got the Z7 as well, set up with like a 35mm, so to get some more close-up shots. But yeah, I'm pretty much not going to change lenses. I've got two heads for my tripod, so I can switch between bodies. I've got a Joby Pod, which is probably the worst tripod ever invented, but I might be able to get something with that while this one is taking a shot. So yeah, you ready? Woo! So obviously this is not the glowworm cave, we are on the Tongariro hike, but I wanted to talk as we're hiking and we're just going down about the glowworm caves I did a few days ago. I thought it was much more interesting to be in the mountains explaining than at my desk. So yeah, that was my first time photographing glowworm caves, and it was a really good experience. Actually, one of the biggest challenges in photography I've ever done. So we went with a company who do private tours, so we booked a private tour, which is a really good idea because on the regular tours you can't bring tripods, big cameras, because they're more about the experience of going than actually taking images. So we went on a specialist photography trip, but the company does really small tours as well. So if you're just interested in seeing glowworms, I definitely recommend they take, like, what is it, Em? Like 8 people?
I think it's 8, yeah, 8 max.
8 max people, which is really small compared to the other ones in town. But if you're interested in the photography tour, have a check out the website. I can link the company somewhere. So if you book a tour, this is like my advice of spending a couple hours down there. I would definitely bring a sturdy tripod. I had an okay travel tripod, which is meant for hiking. But if you have the opportunity, I would definitely bring... What's up?
Nothing, figuring out how to get going.
Rubbish. But I'd definitely bring a sturdy tripod. It was really a lot of mud, a lot of water, and I wish I kind of had something sturdier, but I traveled light, so that's why I didn't. I would definitely take your time down there. I know you have about 3 hours, but that goes really quick. I would walk around first, figure out your compositions, figure out what you want to do, and then go from there. I really wanted to get a close-up shot of the glowworms, so I used a Z7 with the 35mm, and then for the wider shots I had a D850 set up with a 14 to 24. I had 2 different cameras because I'm lucky enough to have those, but down there it's so wet, so you wouldn't actually want to change cameras because you might actually damage your equipment. What else is important down there? For your shots, I would definitely recommend, you need a really good camera. I know that's kind of hard, but you need a camera which has good ISO performance, because some of my shots went like 4 or 3 minutes at ISO 2,500 and they were just about coming out. So some of the exposures are going to be like 5 minutes long. But for exposures, I would definitely recommend trying to get a person in them, trying to get some scale of what the caves are, but having a person in it really helps. So what I did was get Emma, she's somewhere back there, to turn on her flashlight torch for like 1 second of the exposure, as you'll see in a shot I'll put up right now. And from that, it lit up that side of the cave and a bit more and gave some ambient light, but also let the glowworms light come through on the entire exposure, which was like 4 minutes long maybe. So if you've got a really patient girlfriend, that's always great, because she has to sit there for like 4 minutes in the dark and not move. But that really works out well. If you haven't done astrophotography before, or if you have, it's actually very different from astrophotography. But astrophotography is actually a really good starting point, but it is 10 times darker than you expect down there. I thought the glowworms would be really bright, and they are to your eye when you've turned your flashlights off for about like a couple of minutes. But to the camera, it's super hard to pick up. So for the close-up shot, I used the Z7 and a 35mm 1.8. 1.8 was really great. I would definitely recommend having a camera which has a having a lens which has a 1.8 aperture, because it made things a lot easier. Being close to the glowworms, it's so much brighter. So those exposures were a lot shorter. I think they were like 30 seconds. I'll put these up right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this useful. That's pretty much it. Good luck if you guys go. And yeah, I'm sorry this is totally random, but I felt like this was the best place I could do to explain my photos I took the other day in the caves. Don't slip.